In one of Nostradamus' predictions about the world earthquake situation, he said, after Turkey and Syria, countries like California, Japan, and Italy must be on the alert because maybe the next biggest earthquake in history will happen out in one of these names. So we must be very wary of the above prophecies. Will they come true? All of us are afraid of disasters, natural disasters. Once they happen, we'll have to suffer serious consequences, and take a very long time to recover. According to statistics, in the recent terrible earthquake in Turkey, up to thousands of people died, 10,000 people were injured, and businesses, restaurants, and houses were all collapsed and severely damaged. So why do earthquakes happen? Every continent in the world experiences earthquakes, from the highest Himalayan mountain peaks to the lowest lowlands, like the Dead Sea, to the icy tundra of Antarctica. These earthquakes do not, however, occur randomly. An earthquake is defined by the USGS as the ground trembling induced by a rapid slide on a fault. The sides of the fault are forced together by stresses in the outer layer of the earth. When pressure builds up and the rocks suddenly slide, waves of energy are released, traveling through the Earth's crust and causing the shaking we experience during an earthquake. Earthquakes are measured using seismographs, which monitor the seismic waves that travel through the Earth after a quake. In comparison with other large earthquakes around the world, the 2011 Japan quake and tsunami, in which more than 22,000 people were killed or went missing, registered a magnitude of 9.1. That incident left widespread destruction in its wake after walls of water engulfed entire towns, dragged houses onto highways, and caused the country's worst nuclear disaster on record. A year before, in 2010, a magnitude 7.0 earthquake in Haiti is estimated to have killed between 220,000 to 300,000. A further 300,000 people were injured, and millions were displaced. In 2004, an earthquake with an estimated magnitude of 9.1 struck the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia, causing a tsunami that left 227,898 people dead or listed as missing and presumed dead. The strongest earthquake on record was a magnitude of 9.5 in Chile in 1960, according to the USGS. And now, the earthquake in Turkey has been ranked in the top 5 in the list of global ranking of the deadliest earthquakes since 2002. Going back to the prophecy of Mr. Nostradamus, the next location will probably be California, USA. Geologists have found that the factors that caused the devastating earthquake in Turkey have also been discovered in California. Both areas are recognized as earthquake-prone zones as they sit above plate boundaries. In the case of Turkey and Syria, it is the border of the Arabian and Anatolian plates. In the case of California, it is the North American and Pacific plate. In both cases, earthquakes along the boundaries are triggered by lateral movements of the plates along strike-slip faults. The East Anatolian Fault is a major strike-slip fault zone running from eastern to south-central Turkey for over 500 kilometers. The San Andreas Fault is a roughly 1,200 kilometers long system of fractures that runs much of the length of California and is capable of producing magnitude 7+ earthquakes. Every earthquake is caused by two rock slabs sliding past one another. What is the orientation of the slabs and in which direction are they sliding? Is the question that seismologists are asking. Normal, reverse and strike-slip faults are the three basic categories of faults. The strike-slip fault, the third kind, entails slabs sliding past one another horizontally. An analogous strike-slip fault to the San Andreas Fault that runs through much of California from the Salton Sea to Cape Mendocino is the East Anatolian Fault in Turkey. Although there are several faults in California, the San Andreas Fault is the 800-pound gorilla of them all. It's the only one from the Bay Area to the Mexican border that has the potential to cause an earthquake with a magnitude that might be close to 8. More dangerous, damage estimates for a catastrophic California quake would be massive. In Southern California, 1,800 people could die in a hypothetical 7.8 earthquake on the San Andreas Fault. More than 900 people could die in fires, more than 600 in building damage or collapse, and more than 150 in transportation accidents. Nearly 50,000 people could be injured. The damage could add up to $200 billion. Communications networks, including internet and cell phone service, could be disrupted for days or longer if telecommunications lines are severed and electricity is knocked out. At least 800 people could be killed and 18,000 more injured in a magnitude 7 earthquake on the Hayward Fault centered below Oakland in Northern California. It's not a matter of if, but when a quake of roughly this size hits Southern California. People need to take precautions and be prepared. According to Father Rodrigue, there will be a significant increase in the number and intensity of earthquakes in the coming years. He has stated that many of these earthquakes will be a result of human sin and the rejection of God's will. He has also warned that these earthquakes will be accompanied by other natural disasters, including hurricanes, floods, and volcanic eruptions. These prophecies about earthquakes are not without precedent. The Bible is filled with stories of earthquakes as signs of God's judgment and intervention. For example, in the book of Exodus, God uses an earthquake to free the Israelites from captivity in Egypt. In the book of Acts, an earthquake opens the doors of a prison, allowing Paul and Silas to escape. And in the book of Revelation, earthquakes are described as signs of the end times. Father Rodrigue has emphasized that these earthquakes are not random occurrences, but rather signs of God's judgment and warning to humanity. He has warned that the increase in earthquakes is a result of the sins of humanity, particularly the rejection of God's laws and the acceptance of moral relativism. He has also stated that these earthquakes are a call to repentance and a warning to prepare spiritually for the challenges that lie ahead. He has urged people to turn to prayer, to seek the sacraments, and to cultivate a deep relationship with God. He has emphasized that the most important preparation is spiritual, not physical, and that people should not be overly focused on stockpiling food, water, and other supplies. People need to take practical steps to prepare for the challenges that lie ahead. We should stay informed about seismic activity in their area, have a plan for emergencies, and form strong relationships with other believers. We need to know the importance of cultivating a deep prayer life and of making frequent use of the sacraments, particularly confession and the Eucharist. The prophecies about earthquakes are a call to repentance and preparation for the challenges that lie ahead. While some may find them unsettling, they are ultimately a message of hope, pointing to a great renewal in the Church and the world.